Something is in our attic. I had always been warned not to go into my grandmother's attic. She'd say, "There are things up there that should stay hidden." But after she passed, the curiosity gnawed at me until I couldn't ignore it any longer. The air was thick with dust, and the smell of old wood and decay made me gag as I stepped into the attic. Cobwebs clung to the corners like forgotten nightmares. Boxes were stacked everywhere, some of them torn open, revealing faded trinkets that had been untouched for years. Then, in the farthest corner, I saw it, a large old mirror with a cracked frame, covered in a thick layer of dust. I don't know what drew me to it, but I felt like I had to touch it, like something was calling me. As I wiped away the dust, a cold shiver crawled down my spine. The reflection didn't feel right. My own face stared back at me, but the eyes, they were wrong. Too hollow, too empty, like they weren't mine. I leaned in, closer, my heartbeat ringing in my ears. The glass felt cold, colder than it should have. I wiped it again, and that's when I saw it, my reflection smiling. But I hadn't smiled. A chill washed over me, and my breath caught in my throat. My reflection raised its hand slowly, as if it was beckoning me closer. My legs shook, but I felt an overwhelming pull, like something invisible was yanking at my insides. I couldn't fight it. "The first rule," the reflection whispered, its voice a twisted mockery of my own. "Never break eye contact." I stood frozen, unable to move, unable to speak. My reflection didn't blink, didn't breathe. And then it took a step forward, out of the mirror. I couldn't breathe. My pulse thundered in my ears as the reflection stepped closer, its skin peeling and cracking, revealing raw, bloody tissue beneath, as though it had been locked in the glass for years. It smiled again, but its lips were torn, blackened with decay, revealing jagged, yellowed teeth. I tried to scream, but my throat was dry, as if my body knew that no sound would come. It reached out, its long, bony fingers brushing mine. The touch was ice cold. It felt like death itself was wrapping around me, like it was squeezing the life out of me. "I'm not the one trapped here," the reflection rasped, its voice coming from deep in its rotting throat. Its breath reeked of decay, of something long dead. I wanted to run. I needed to run, but I couldn't. My legs wouldn't move. My body was paralyzed. I couldn't tear my eyes away from the thing that wasn't me. It took another step closer, its grin widening, and then it began to walk away. I was still frozen, still locked in place as my reflection turned its back and strolled away, its skin hanging off its bones like a rotting corpse. And then I realized. I was still staring at the mirror. But now, I wasn't the one in it. I was the one on the outside, trapped in the glass, trapped forever, watching my reflection, my body, walk away from me. And somewhere in the silence of the attic, I heard it, the wet, sickening sound of the thing's laughter. It echoed in my mind, a low, guttural sound, like it was tasting my fear. I am not the one who left the mirror. I am the one who is still trapped inside.